Good afternoon in the United States. Good evening in the United Kingdom. I'm John, your carnivore teacher, here with Stephanie with Happy Sexy Health and George Goodenough and our special guest, Pumi, with Sunday School Carnivore. Today, we're going to talk with our special guest. She's going to share her story of health and how a carnivore has helped improve her. Tell us all about her. Audience, you're welcome to ask us and Pumi questions. Please put a QQQ in the comments and type your question, and Stephanie will make sure it shows up on the screen, and we can all address that question. So before we get started with Pumi and introduce her and her wonderful story, we're going to go around clockwise, starting with Stephanie. Tell us very briefly a little bit about yourself for anybody new who's watching.
Yeah, hi, I'm Stephanie and I'm at Happy Sexy Health. And like so many of you, I've had a health transformation with Carnivore, and after getting a shock diagnosis of stage 4 ovarian cancer. So great to be here with you. I'm going to be in the chat answering your questions, and so look forward to getting to know you. Over to you, George.
My name is George Goodenough. I'm your 60-year-old carnivore friend from Bridgewater in Somerset in England. My story is the standard one when it comes to being very fat and having type 2 diabetes, to no longer being fat and no longer having type 2 diabetes, which has taken me, it took me a very short time, but I've been 3.5 years now living the hypercarnivore lifestyle. My specialist subject, other than type 2 diabetes, is rapidly becoming the history of the low-carb, high-fat diet. And one of my classmates from the Dr. Kilt's coaching course, who has just launched her own channel, which is called Club Carnivore, has actually decided that my new name in the carnivore community should be the Carnivore Historian, because I study history so much. And that has been endorsed by Dr. Nelson and Dr. Kilt, because I had a very short notice job interview, we might even call it, because on Thursday their guest let them down, and Alia appealed to me to, George, please come on. So I did. And Dr. Nelson said, you love your history, don't you, George? He said, when we start teaching more subjects, he said, you're going to be our history teacher, which Dr. Kiltz was delighted with. So that took me completely by surprise. But that's very good news indeed. So yeah, type 2 diabetes and the history. I will be going on with Nicky, who is Club Carnivore, at 8 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, and I will be talking about some of the heroes from the last century who kept the ketogenic diet going. So anybody wants to come in on that, we more than welcome you. Thank you. Over to you, John.
Love that. Thank you, George and Stephanie. I'm John, the Carnivore Teacher Alpha. I have a YouTube channel. I put out a video every day. I do some interviews. I'm on this wonderful Sunday School Carnivore with wonderful Stephanie and George. I love it here. I look forward to this every week. And I came to Carnivore gradually. I started out with the keto diet about 6.5 years ago, and then it transitioned to Ketovore. And then, about 2.5 years ago, I went full carnivore. I'm also 60, and I'm just a little bit ahead of George there in a days, and feeling like I'm 30, even less than 30. I feel like I'm in my 20s because I just feel so well and good on this way of eating, carnivore. So that's why we talk and share about our stories, so that if anybody's looking, anybody needs some help, we're out there giving you answers. So tell us about you, Pumi. Welcome.
Thank you so much, John, and thank you for the invitation to the Sunday School. I love your show, and I love the stories that people have told about transforming their lives and becoming the healthiest they've ever been. And I'm so happy to have found this way of eating. And I am 34, and I've only been carnivore since January, so it's about 9 months. And so much has changed. We'll get into it, but thank you so much for having me. And I'm looking forward to sharing my story too.
Great. Thank you. Where are you from, Pumi? Did you say that?
Oh, sorry, no.
I'm curious.
I'm from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
But I live in the UK. I've lived here for the past 6 years.
Okay, great. And so you've only been carnivore for about 9 months. Should we get started, folks, and ask her how and why and all the good stuff, the why we're here? All right, Pumi, are you ready? You take as long as you need or as short as you need, and tell us why you started this 9 months ago, and tell us some of the things that happened along those months. What did you observe in your body?
So I've always been a sickly person. There's always been something wrong with me, and I've always been trying to figure out what it is. And so I've spent my life trying many, many diets, but I'll start from childhood because that's when I realized something was different about me and the way my body worked. So when I was 10, I was the first girl in my grade to start her menstrual cycle, and I was quite overweight. But besides starting my menstrual cycle first in the grade, I also had blood sugar dysregulation. I would get dizzy 1 or 2 hours after eating, no matter what I would eat. I tried, everything that I thought I could try, as we all do on this journey to carnivore. And so when I got into my 20s and I started earning my own money, I started putting all my income towards figuring out what is wrong with me. I saw every dietitian, every doctor. I tried every remedy, every pill, everything. I did Chinese medicine. I've done it all. I can tell you all about it. I've done coffee enemas, everything to heal my gut, to fix my blood sugar, to heal my menstrual cycle, most of all, because starting it so early obviously indicated that there was something wrong with my hormones. And so every cycle I had since I was 10 was painful. And I've taken every pill for the pain, and they just don't work. But we still take the pills for pain killing anyway, because psychologically you feel like, okay, I've taken the pill, so it must be doing something. But in your heart they're not working. The pain doesn't reduce, nothing changes. Anyway, I first tried the blood type diet, and then I did a personalized diet, and then I did low histamine diet, low FODMAP diet, and eventually I gave up and thought, okay, let me try vegan, because that's got to work. That is the most restrictive thing I can do. It's the best thing I can do. It's the ultimate detoxing thing. I'm going to feel so good. It's going to heal everything. I'm going to feel great. This is the answer. And so I tried the vegan diet, and something happened that I never thought was possible. And that was that my periods got even worse as a vegan. I now realize that I developed PCOS while I was vegan, and that's because now I understand that the vegan diet is a very high carbohydrate and high sugar diet. And that's why I developed PCOS, because PCOS is diabetes of the ovaries. And it was always probably bound to happen with the way I was eating. In my country, we have our staple diet, which is a very carbohydrate-heavy, corn-based meal. And, the people in my country believe that it's our tradition and it's our African heritage to eat this particular meal, which is probably true for, many other cultures and countries. But the fact that it's carbohydrate-based is what the problem is. And so I spent a lot of my life eating that. And even when I left Zimbabwe, I would still believe that carbohydrates should be the majority of your meal. And so I continued the tradition in different foods, with rice, potatoes, whatever other carbohydrate I could find in whatever country I was living in. I just always thought that this is how I get my energy and stay stable. And so I did the vegan diet. It didn't work for me. I stopped being vegan after 8 months because I thought, well, I've done everything. Nothing is going to heal me. I accept it. I'm going to be in pain for the rest of my life. And that's it. And I was angry with myself. I was angry with my body. I was angry with God. I was angry with the health industry and every doctor I'd ever seen, for the fact that, why didn't you just tell me that there's no solution? I wouldn't have tried all these things. That's how I felt. And then one day, by divine intervention, and I think this is every carnivore story, it's always like divine intervention. I was in the shops and I was buying some fruit, because fruit was my breakfast meal. And I thought I was being the healthiest person in the world having fruit for breakfast. But now I realize that's basically having dessert to start your day. And I was in the shop and I was buying my fruit as usual. And something told me that I need to stop doing this. And I didn't know why I felt like that, but I went home and I Googled, is fruit sugar the same as refined sugar? Because what I had learned on this journey is that refined sugar is bad for you. But I always felt like fruit is a natural sugar, so maybe it's not so bad. But then when I had this feeling to really like actually research, is this good for me after so many years of doing it? So I went on YouTube and I typed that in. I can't tell you what video it was that told me that fruit is literally the same and it's, damaging your body in the same way that refined sugar would. I don't know what I watched, but that was the beginning of my deep dive. And then I got recommendations for keto videos after that video. And then I thought to myself, oh my gosh, keto is so good. This is what I need to do. I was so excited to start making the almond butter balls and the keto treats. I was like, this is great. It's going to work. I can still enjoy my life. And then, YouTube being YouTube, the deeper you go, the deeper it goes, and it starts to recommend something new to you. And I started getting recommendations for carnivore videos, and I thought, okay, this is a bit much. What is carnivore? And I watched some videos, but it wasn't just about what the videos were about that convinced me to go carnivore. It was also about how the people looked that were talking about it. And I was like, wow, everyone's skin is so smooth and radiant and the bodies looked so good. Whether it was a man or a woman, everyone just looked so good. And so I said to my husband, I can't do keto actually. And this is all on the same day. And he's thinking, oh, this girl. 1 minute we're doing keto, next minute, no, never mind, we're not doing keto, we're going to do carnivore. And so I started carnivore, I think the next day. And that was the beginning of what I never expected in my life. I didn't know that I could feel the way I do now. Healing is possible no matter what issue you have. Trust me, this is how it's supposed to be. We're actually all supposed to be healthy. We're not all actually supposed to have something wrong with us. And so that's how I came to carnivore.
That is an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing that. And everyone's story is so unique and different. So the PCOS disappeared.
Yes, within 4 cycles, which is
Wow.
3 months.
Okay.
With each passing month, the symptoms reduced, and I documented it actually because I have a YouTube channel and I have this 1 hour documenting month 1 carnivore. During my cycle, I explain how I'm feeling and what happened. But with each month, the symptoms reduced, the pain reduced.
Fantastic.
And by month 4, I didn't have the typical PCOS stabbing pain that you and George luckily don't have any idea about. But yeah, it's the worst thing in the world. It feels like someone is not only stabbing you, but twisting knives in your pelvis.
Wow.
So that went away by cycle number 4. And I was like, I couldn't believe it was real because they tell you PCOS is irreversible. They tell you that's it. Once you have it, that's just how your life is going to be.
Wow. So diabetes of the ovaries, is that what it is? That's what they're calling
Yes.
it? So diabetes of the brain is Alzheimer's. Diabetes of the
Exactly.
blood is diabetes. It's all too much glucose, too much sugar. And I really related to when you talked about the fruit because I believed that too years ago. I'm like, I'm going to have all the healthy sugar. The sugar that comes from fruit, all the maple syrup and honey has to be better for you than table sugar. And then I found out, I just looked at the molecule. It's glucose and fructose is glucose and fructose. The body doesn't know it's honey, or the only thing the body sees is some of the fiber that you're eating with it. So it's the glucose may drip a little slower into the bloodstream, but that's it.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't know that white bread, whole wheat bread, brown rice, white rice, potatoes, it's all turns into, it's starch, which turns into the same thing, glucose. So I'll tell you, it was a huge learning curve for me too. And I see why you are angry. I could see why, major rage, because if you had known all this, you could have avoided so much pain. And I'm so happy for you now that you know the answer. So we're definitely going to get your YouTube channel to post in the show notes so people can go to your channel. We'll get that at the end of the show. Somebody commented in the comments that that video would go viral. They want to see it. So definitely want to get that. Steph or George, any comments?
Yeah, I can. I wish to jump in here, John, on the fruit and the fructose issue, because basically I think Pumi referred to refined sugars. So really what we're talking about there is sucrose, which is the table sugar, which goes into most cakes and that sort of thing. We need to point out that sucrose is in fact a disaccharide, which means that it has one molecule of glucose and one of fructose. Fructose itself is a monosaccharide, and basically, so when anybody looks at table sugar and says that's unhealthy, but then looks at fruit and says that is healthy, it's kind of counterintuitive, because they're virtually the same thing. The only difference being is that in sucrose there is also glucose, whereas in fruit it is just the fructose. However, the fructose is the one that is the damaging one, because to a certain extent glucose can be metabolized by the body itself, can be used by the body, whereas fructose can't be. It has to be sent straight to the liver to be metabolized, and it goes through the same aldehyde process as alcohol. It is ultimately more damaging, in my view, than alcohol, because I've had experience with both over the years. And when I gave up the fructose, but carried on with the alcohol for a while, my liver returned to normal function. I've now given up the alcohol, and I highly recommend that anybody to do that. But no, the fructose is not healthy, because it puts pressure on the liver, and pressure on the liver is basically where nearly all of our autoimmune conditions come from. So just to clarify that one, fructose, it's not a friend, it is the enemy.
And I want to clarify something too there. Fructose and glucose, depending on the fruit, it is sometimes 50-50. Fruits also have fructose and glucose, just like table sugar. It's just that fruit has a little bit more fructose. High fructose corn syrup, a little bit more fructose, but they both are fructose and glucose. One goes to the liver, one has to be processed by our pancreas. So, man, but just having the knowledge makes all the difference, doesn't it? It really does. Yeah. Steph?
Yeah, I love the story as well, because so many women are struggling with infertility due to PCOS, endometriosis, and many other things that I can't think of the names of right now, but they're all the same exact thing. But yet women can go through decades of suffering, and it can be relationship ending. It can really change the trajectory of your whole life, because you're in so much agony every month, and not even just on monthly. Some people are in pain every day with this, because the damage isn't only to your fertility and those relevant organs there, the ovaries, etc., the womb, all of that. It's affecting your whole body. It goes into your brain. It's affecting your brain. It's causing you to feel, depressed and so on. So I really, it really is frustrating to know that there are women out there who will hear this perhaps and think, oh, that's not for me. But I would just say, if anybody was watching and they thought, as many of us here did, when we first heard about carnivore, that's not for me, that's too extreme, I really encourage you, if you're suffering and you've tried everything, or you think you've tried everything, then definitely do give either keto or carnivore a try to see if it relieves. And Pumi, I would just like to ask you, because now with you shining such a bright light with your YouTube channel, Carnivore Cutie, have you had people who have changed their diets after hearing your story?
Well, actually, yesterday, one of my friends from my hometown found my TikTok, and I'm still in the carnivore closet. So I was completely like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then he said, no, I love it. I want to try. I'm going to start on Monday now that I know that you're doing it and you like it and it's working for you. So I'm always happy when it's someone I know on a personal basis, even more than, my internet buddies. But like, yes, of course, lots of people on my channel are, switching to carnivore because of the content I make. And also I have another friend who she gave birth recently and she's been struggling with her postpartum weight. And she tried carnivore in just 3 days and she lost more weight than she had ever since she gave birth. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm sticking to this. So I'm very happy to hear stories like that. And the thing about this is that compared to all the other diets I did, I never had the confidence that I have now that this is it. This is the proper human diet. It's the only way of eating that shows you results within like the first week that you do it. Nothing else has done that. And I've tried everything. I cannot vouch for anything else. So, and the way you feel so good and the way everybody else feels so good, this is actually our birthright and everyone should feel like this. So I'm thrilled when people switch, but I also understand, there's a lot of brainwashing that's being done to make people reluctant to make the change. So, everybody in their own time, but it's definitely a decision you have to make for yourself and you make it when you're ready. But we still need to keep preaching about it because people's lives will be changed forever. It's adding years to people's lives. It's taking away pain. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Totally. You're making me smile. You're making everybody on the screen here smile and the comments. We so relate to you. And I related to what you said about the confidence. I've always been an introvert. I've always been, you'd never know it. I've always been really super shy and always cared about what everybody thought of me, fear of failure. And when I changed my diet and changed my body, which changed my mind, I got this super confidence as well. I became more of an extrovert, and I'm making these videos and talking to people, and it's the diet. It changes you. It changes your brain as well. You feel wonderful, and you can't keep your mouth shut. You have to share it. You have to tell other people because it is our birthright. You said that so beautifully, Pumi. We have the right, like the Bill of Rights, to have quality food that our body is supposed to have, and not be lied to. And have supermarkets full of ultra processed food telling us in the supermarket aisles that it's good for you. That's what angers me right there. Yeah.
Okay, so can I just jump in here and speak to Pumi about the benefits of the carnivore community? Yes. I know that you're in the car, but you say you're selling the carnivore closet at home. Would you say you're a bit shy or introverted? Is that an issue, or are you okay on camera?
I think I'm a walking oxymoron because here I am telling the entire world, except the people I know on a personal basis. But I think it's because the people who know me personally have seen me go through everything, and I've preached to them about everything that I've done. And I know that they're tired of hearing it. So I think this time I'm going to wait for people to see the change and be like, okay, so what is it this time? Because I don't want to put people off again. And I've done that in the past. I know I have. So I just, that's the reason.
Absolutely.
I was happy for my friend to find it and to hear that he had already started looking into it. And, seeing a familiar face is what made him take the plunge.
Yeah, absolutely. The main reason I ask is I do suffer the same thing. But those of you who know me know that I'm on a one-man mission to unite the world under the banner of carnivore, and that's I spend a lot of my time now in America, so to speak, and we've got a lot of our American friends on here tonight. Steph and myself are on the same. We've just completed the same course over in America with Dr.
Oh, you've gone mute. Oh, back.
Am I back? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Back now.
Yeah. Thomas is. I don't know if you can see the chat tonight, Pumi, but Thomas is in the chat tonight, and he's been very impressed so far. He has this brilliant channel which he's expanding quite rapidly, and he has invited you to give an interview.
Oh,
So if you would,
thank you.
and believe me, Thomas is not shy about asking anybody. You know, he's. I think he's got Jen Mann on, Kerry Mann's wife on New Year's Day, and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, there's a couple of people not far from here who are coming up this month. I believe that Steph's on with them on October the 7th, and then a week later I'm on with them as well. So, yeah, if you would like to join the select group, well, less than select group of people, because Thomas interviews everybody, but if you'd like to join us, then please, I think you're probably in contact with Steph, who's in contact with Thomas, so we'll put you in contact, and we'll get you on the list of celebrities who Thomas has interviewed.
Thomas is a good host. He just hosted me. He did a really nice job.
Oh, I didn't know. Of course he did, John. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so
Yep.
you'll be joining the gang, Pumi, if you would kindly say
Thank
yes.
you.
So I think that'd be really good.
I'd love that.
Great. Any
Well,
questions?
also-
Steph? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Pumi, and then we can go over to the
Yeah,
questions.
go ahead, Pumi.
Oh, I was going to say, you did the first round of the KILS certification, and I signed up for the second round.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I'm so delighted, Pumi, and that's because those of us who completed the first course, which was kind of the experimental one, we've all been invited back for the second. Now, a lot of our American friends can't make it on account of the fact that it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon for them. However, for us, it's 8 p.m. I've got nothing planned on a Wednesday evening up in between now and Christmas, so I will be on that course with you as well. So I look forward to it.
Great.
It'll be really good.
Yeah, it will. It was such fun. And obviously we've become very knowledgeable on lots of different things as well. So we'll go over to the comments, and Growth and God has asked us to talk about affordability of the carnivore lifestyle. And earlier on, he did make a comment. Well, I'm not sure actually if it's a man or a woman, but did make a comment to say that they have tried carnivore but have fallen off. So if you want to comment on that, or if you want to talk about affordability, that would be great.
Well, I'd love to know what country they're in, but I have a secret for those in the UK regarding affordability. If you live close to a Morrison's, and you love lamb, then I have the perfect lamb surprise for you. As long as you promise not to go to my Morrison's and finish the lamb. So there's a section in the meat section that says lamb, and it's got all the fancy cuts like lamb ribs and the shanks and everything. But if you look closely to the side, they have something called lamb bones. And when we do carnivore, we do high fat carnivore, and these lamb bones are covered in fat. They also have some meat, but my goodness, they fill you, and they are less than 1 pound per packet. Sometimes you can get it for 52p, and it's enough to fill you. And because there's so much fat, you feel so satiated, and I just can't believe it every time I eat it, because I've spent less than a pound. When last did you spend less than a pound on dinner? It doesn't happen anymore. So that's one tip for affordability. But my other tips are just to shop around like you've never shopped around before. Make friends with your butcher, go to every grocery store and literally compare prices and see what works best for you. But I thought that it would be expensive. That's everybody's first concern when they hear about the carnivore diet, because meat, no matter where you are, is probably apparently expensive. But ever since I started this diet, we're spending so much less on groceries, because you're not eating a whole lot of other nonsense. And also because you're eating once or twice a day. I think people are afraid of the affordability aspect, because some of us were eating 6 small meals a day. But on carnivore, you don't do those 6 times or 8 times of eating. And so you're definitely not spending as much.
I totally see exactly what you're saying. How much is a pound versus a dollar? Are they kind of relative? I'm not sure what that is. Sounds pretty cheap.
£4, about $5, John.
Okay, so it's close. Plus, you get the bones, Pumi, right? I don't know if you make bone broth, but anytime I have meat that has bones, it goes in a bag in the freezer, and then I have my crock pot out and I make bone broth. So that is like making me money. Oh my gosh, that sounds fantastic.
Can I just jump in here about Morrison's? Because as soon as I heard Pumi mention Morrison's,
you smiled. Yes,
I knew the chat was going to explode with Lady, my wife, because we have a Morrison's less than 5 minutes walk across the road. She buys the bones from Morrison's as well.
Oh,
and
wow.
I think she stocked up on a couple of lamb legs last week, which were on offer. And also, as she's just pointed out, the Gressingham ducks. Whole ducks are on offer for £6 a whole duck in the last couple of weeks, and she's got 3 of them. And she says, "Sorry, Rick, but there's 3 ducks in our freezer at the moment." But if I just talk about fertility for my for affordability, not fertility, that's the Dr. Kilt's influence kicking in again. Right, so I've made a note: a freezer and a marketplace. Basically, you want to get a freezer. Go to your Saturday market or your street market where they sell loads of meat for not much money in it, typically. And I think Lainey was complaining this evening that she's got about a dozen sirloin steaks which we picked up under those terms in the freezer. Would I hurry up and eat them, please? Also, I think you'll find that the Dr. Ken Berry view that even the cheapest of sausages are more healthy than the most expensive of vegetables. That's another thing to bear in mind. You can get cheap bacon, that sort of thing. Corned beef, again, it's a relatively inexpensive bully beef, as the British Army used to call it. They won the Second World War they helped win the Second World War on bully beef. Eggs as well. Eggs aren't really expensive, and they're a great carnivore food. So it doesn't have to be expensive, and also have an eye for the other thing I was going to say. Have an eye for a bargain. Go to the sell by dates. This evening, myself and Lainey had this great carnivore buffet. She went through the freezer and found that she bought a lot of 50% off stuff, and that included tonight duck legs, ostrich steaks, veal steaks, and a lamb rump, which she bought from Aldi back after Christmas, and it was something which didn't sell at Christmas, and it was 50% off. So basically, what she does is she'll just load up the trolley with those stuff, not thinking, we're going to have this when we get home, but thinking, I've got a freezer at home, in it goes. And she forgets about it. And then suddenly today she thought, I wonder what's in the freezer. Next thing you know, we're eating ostrich, we're eating duck, we're eating lamb, and we're eating veal, all on the same banquet. And it was an absolutely fabulous experience. So it doesn't have to be expensive, folks. And the other thing to remember is you're not buying the rubbish. You are not buying the sugary products. You're not buying cakes. You're not buying biscuits. You're not buying potato chips or crisps, as we call them. You're not buying Coca-Cola, certainly. You're not buying orange juice. The list is absolutely endless. You're not buying Snickers bars. You're basically, you don't really have to go to the supermarket. But when you go to the supermarket, you ignore most of the aisles because there is nothing in there which is attractive to you whatsoever. So not only is it cheaper, but it takes less time to do your shopping as well. Anyway, that's my take on affordability.
I can't add anything to that, George. You hit every point I was going to make.
That is absolutely why I love Carnivore the best. I love the simplicity of it. I love if you've got a lot going on with your actual life, food now is not the main part of it. Now, we have a joke on that we do these 21-day resets and people come on and we're all on the calls, on the coaching and all that. And I tell people, I used to go to a wedding and be very interested in what the menu was going to be, or I'd get to a party, I'd want to know what food they were having. If there was a cake there was no chance on God's green earth that I was only having one slice. I would have to have at least 2. Often they have, options for dessert at these do's. I would have to try both. After a hearty portion of the main course, don't get me wrong, I wasn't skipping any part of it. So food for me was the real driver of it. That was the real excitement, the adventure of the occasion. Going on holiday, food was the adventure of it. going to see friends or family. Food was the adventure of it. And so it is a different mindset now. And it did take me a while to get into it, but somebody said to me, "You're going for the people." And I thought to myself, am I really? Am I really? That just did not sound true whatsoever. But when I got into that mindset, I'm going for the people. Actually, it doesn't matter what I eat while I'm there, as long as I'm there communing with the people. And when the people I love, the people I want to be with, I'm probably not going to go to random things anymore where I don't want to be there for the people. But when I want to be there for the people, it just changes everything. And I don't drink anymore, which I used to drink all the time. I would never see without a glass of fizz or wine of some sort. But now I go there and drink my wine and enjoy the people. And the other people say they didn't know I wasn't drinking, or people are offering me drinks, they think I'm drinking the same as everyone else. So just want to give you growth in God. I just want to give you some inspiration that even though right now it might feel impossible for you to eat carnivore and stay carnivore, it's not impossible. It will happen. If you just take it one day at a time rather than thinking, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, just take it one day at a time. And over time, your confidence will build, your palate will change, what you want begins to change, and your brain suddenly is released from the heavy grip of the sugar addiction. It loosens its ties, and for many people, it goes completely away. So thank you for asking the question, and do let us know in the comments where you're from. I'm interested as well, and what your name is if you want to share that. The next person I've put a star by is Thomas at Target Prime Rib, which 1 week I got wrong and called him spare rib. So now that's my So Thomas at Target Prime Rib, would love to have you on, Fumi, as a targeted guest. With both of us being diabetic, it would be great to hear about her story. Fumi, if interested, just email me, and we're in touch. Fumi, I will put you in touch with Thomas.
Thank you so much.
On that note, can I just jump in here and say about who we've got in the chat tonight? Because looking down the list, we've got rocking coach Amy, who is had got her own fabulous channel. She'll be interviewing Thomas fairly shortly. I told Amy this story the other day. I've been friends with her on Facebook for about 2 months, but I failed to subscribe to her until our great friend Juliet, quick segue here, who is Coach Juliet Edens. She's also in the chat tonight. She has a fabulous channel which is growing quicker than any of ours. She's overtaken most people who were in front of her in terms of subscribers. She interviewed Thomas last night. She's interviewed me. So yeah, we got some. So go out and find these channels. But obviously we got Charger Mopar in the there, who is Rick Rodriguez, otherwise known as the Duckman. So we have some great content. We've also got Carnivore Muscle, I think, in the in the chat, which is Jonathan Griffiths. Go and find Carnivore Muscle if you haven't found him. We have some, the Carnivore is growing and Carnivore YouTube is growing. Make sure you go around and subscribe to everybody, because we need to actually get to YouTube taking us very seriously. I've changed my name this week. I was George Goodenough 823, but I'm now Goodenough for you. Which has a kind of a double entendre, I like to think, because I'm good enough for you, but on the other hand, I'm there for you as well. So if you need to know anything from me, then I am. George is there for you. So but that's what I'd like to say. I just think it's fabulous. I'm looking down this list of superstars that are actually in our little gang here. So, and Pumi, the fact that you're joining the Kilts coaching course, you're going to meet a lot of great American people as well. You're going to get much more involved with the American community, and it's just great fun. It really is.
It is.
Thanks, George, for sharing that, and thanks, Thomas, for inviting Pumi on your show. And Thomas also said something which I thought is so important, isn't it? It's this ignorance is actually killing us. That's no hyperbole. People are dying because they don't know this information.
And not that we didn't know it, but we're being fed misinformation and myths and lies. And some people were harmless in spreading those because they didn't know, but some of them in the boardrooms did know, because this is about addictive, ultra processed food, which is all starch, sugar, and seed oils. So it's, ignorance. Having the knowledge is so powerful. Knowledge is power. That's why the teacher part of me gets so excited, because I love to share things that I learned that just blew me away. I have to tell other people about how to eat properly. Now, and of course, you can't tell anybody how to do this, right? Like I think Pumi mentioned that this is her debut and nobody in her family didn't see it because she's been on all these other diets. I understand that, because my family and friends, I don't think they still don't want to hear too much about it from me because I don't shut up about it. But they are seeing a change in me. They're seeing me evolve and grow and become healthier. And just be yourself, Pumi. Everybody listening, just live your carnivore lifestyle and let it shine through. And if like Pumi and George, who is good enough for all of us, and his food is, start a YouTube channel. Absolutely. So that when others are going down the rabbit hole, their channel pops up and you get to hear stories from that perspective. It's really amazing. Dave Mack is one of those that I just love to hear the stories. They're so different, and they're just stories. Stories are teaching. And everybody's different, and everybody sees something in everybody else's story. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yes. And speaking of the way you teach, the way it's so clear, your beautiful voice reminds me that we never talk about on this channel, or very rarely, that John has a book, and it's called The Carnivore Teacher. It's a very... I really reference this every week, because many of you may be just starting, or even if you've been going for a while, this book will invigorate you, re-excite you, and maybe you'll learn a few little tidbits in there that you didn't know before, which I learned a few. And you can get it on Amazon. Just put in The Carnivore Teacher. You probably don't even need to put John LaSpina, and you can get it written version. You can get it on Audible. I loved the Audible because John's got such a beautiful voice.
I just finished my second book, and the Kindle's out already, but they're proofreading it for the paperback, and the Audible is also done. So that one's called, you ready for this? Processed to Death. Wow. And the front cover is a picture of a grocery store aisle with all the boxes and stuff. So stay tuned for that one too. I have to get this information out that I learned. I can't keep it all in. I can't talk about it enough. So it's spilling over in books and interviews and everything. All right. Target Prime Rib has another question. Is that the same one?
No, it's just one. That was the same one. But now George is so knowledgeable. Coach Juliet was saying, I had to resist the temptation to say he's got certificates, because George has sent me his certificates. So just want to let Juliet know, and all the viewers, that George has.
Yeah, I for some reason I made the mistake of thinking that you're in a position to employ me, Steph. So that's the reason why I sent them. I didn't realise that you would.
And Carnivore Muscle Jonathan has kindly told us that there's $1.20 is a pound.
Okay.
So when you're talking about you're getting your bones for a pound, or even 50p, that's like $1.20 or 60 cents.
It's amazing. That is so dirt cheap. My tip, I didn't get to say this earlier, was around the holidays, at least where I live in South Florida, they put the prime ribs on sale. They put the different really expensive cuts on sale because Christmas is coming up, or Thanksgiving. It has to be like the week of. Everybody's going to the store to buy roasts and things, and you'll see, instead of a beautiful prime rib that's about this big, that's usually $130, you can get a standing rib roast for $45 which
Wow.
serves a ton of people. So I'll buy 3 or 4 of those and stick them in my deep freezer that George talked about that I have in my garage. Invest in one, wonderful investment. And yeah, a mincemeat ground beef is sometimes on sale. I love ground beef is just as healthy for you as a ribeye steak. It has the same, content, the same fatty acid and protein content that you need. So let's see, what else do we have?
Talk about ground beef or mince beef. Can I just say that when you go shopping for it, look for the cheap stuff. Why?
Yeah.
Because
More fat.
ridiculously, the cheaper it is, the more fat there is, and they charge much more for the lean 5%. So don't be fooled by that. Look for the cheap stuff because that has got more fat in it.
And it tastes so much better.
Yeah.
I had run out of my usual. The shop I buy in, the most fat you can get is 20% fat. I'm there in lids. If Morrison's is going to get a shout out, I'm giving a shout out to lids. Little AKA lids, as we affectionately know it. And you can get a little pack of minced beef. It's 400 grams, so that's just under £1 for you in America. And you can do it so many ways, but how I love to do it is so simple. It tastes so much better, I believe, than the mixed up mince, the little grains of mince. I just pat it down. I cut it in half, pat it down a bit, put a bit of salt and pepper on it, air fry it, and I leave it a little bit pink in the middle. So it's like a minced beef steak, if you will. And I don't think you can get anything better. You've got all the little things ground up in there, fat, gristle, all that, because that's all very helpful to us. And it's got 20% fat. I usually add a bit of extra fat, that with a few eggs. It's so simple. It's so inexpensive, but it gives us something invaluable. It gives us the health. It gives us the energy. And it gives us the money to spend on other things.
Yes. And those egg yolks broken into that ground beef is just heaven. It's delicious.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought of a question for Pumi, whereabouts in the UK? You don't have to tell me your address, but whereabouts in the UK are you from? Are you living in?
I'm currently in Liverpool.
Okay, so up in the northwest.
And you?
Yeah, I'm in the southwest, very near Glastonbury, actually, in Somerset. So I'm also 1 hour exactly from Steph. She's just across the bridge, as we call it, over in Wales, and we did have a mini meetup the other day over in Wales, which was great. Which was great fun. It was we're going back there because the 10-ounce ribeyes were char grilled were absolutely to die for. So it won't be the last time we'll be visiting there. Go on, sir.
I hope to make it to the Somerset farm next year.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, because I was hoping you were going to turn up this year because I think that came after Steph interviewed you. And I was half hoping to see you. So, yeah, but it's the Sourdown Farm. Yeah, Sourdown Farm, very near Glastonbury on the 13th of January next year, the Great British Meetup. Oh, big announcement. Very big announcement. I was on with Dr. Kiltz earlier, and he said, George, when's the next meetup? I said, in June next year, Dr. Kiltz. I said, are you any chance you're coming? And Ali said, he's coming, George. He said, yes, I'm definitely coming.
Right.
So that was actually... Kiltz has announced he will be coming to the Great British Meetup.
Wow.
Next year. Alia has been for basically the whole of June, a bit over in the UK, and he will be part of the Great British Meetup. So I'm very much looking forward to meeting him in person. So I was going to announce that. Sorry, big announcement, big scoop. Dr. Kiltz will be at the Great British Meetup next summer. So hope to see everybody there, that's for sure.
Yeah. I wanted to ask a question as well, but let me show a couple of comments before I do, because we haven't got that much longer left. But Rocking Coach Amy is interviewing Thomas, our very favourite prime rib, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. So put that in your calendars or timers or what have you. So that's Rocking Coach Amy is interviewing Thomas from Prime Spare Rib. I'm doing it again. Prime Rib. Target Prime Rib. And Rick, he's eaten the cheapest ground beef for decades and he's looking amazing on it. And Pumi, you've got a hello from Louise.
Louise, I love that woman. I haven't met her in person, but the day I meet her, I'm just gonna cry. I love her.
Isn't that cool how we've met these wonderful people, but we haven't met them in person? A lot of us have met great people before. I haven't met you two in person.
Yeah. Yeah. And my question to you that was sparked when you were asking a question earlier, so it made me curious, Pumi. You've had such an incredible transformation in your health, and your husband's been with you through a lot of it, I'm guessing. And how has he thought about carnivore? And it hasn't been long for you. Is he sort of trying it out or dabbling, or what's he doing?
So thankfully, I have the most supportive husband in the world. When I'm doing something, he's doing it with me. And so he started with me and he is thriving.
Good.
Like, you know, men's bodies change quicker than women. So when I say thriving, I mean it. He's looking better than ever in his face, in his body. He's working out more than ever, and his body is changing quicker than ever. And he's just healthier than ever. So many things have changed for his health too. And the truth is, nobody knows this, but he's stricter than I am. Which is great. It's great to have that support because I need it. You know how we are. We have our days as women. So like he'll remind me, your cycle's coming. Are you sure you want to indulge in that or this? And I'm talking about even like the carnivore cheats, like cheese and dairy, even stuff like that. So it's a good accountability partner.
And thank you, Pumi. I'm glad. It's great hearing these couples who are doing it together. But there's lots of successful carnivores where the other partner doesn't do it. And what about you, John? Does your partner do this as well?
Doug and I started keto together. He actually started it first, like in 2019, and I jumped on. I never give him credit for this. I probably should. And we both were keto for a while, and then I went ketovore, and then I went carnivore. He stayed keto the whole time. He likes to have a little bit of lettuce. And I don't know why. I tell him, "What are you eating that crunchy water for?" And he laughs at me. But he likes to have a little bit of fiber and stuff with his food and all of that. But he's really healthy, so it does make it easier if people in the household, your spouse, whoever, the children, if you live with family, if they're doing it too, or something similar. It can be difficult when you're starting and all the junk food you ate all your life is also still in the house. Because, out of sight, out of mind makes it easier. So I'm glad that your husband's doing that with you, Pumi. And I'll tell you, more testosterone really makes us feel great. And we want to work out. It totally is true for men.
Amongst other things.
Yeah, for sure.
And I wanted to, because that's your wife there, George.
It certainly is, yeah.
Whom
I suppose I suppose I could point out the fact that Lainey also now is hyper-carnivore.
She's hyper.
She can, it's a hyper-carnivore and ketovore are kind of interchangeable because the scientific definition of a hyper-carnivore is somebody who gets more than 70% of their nutrition from fat and protein. So yeah, Lainey definitely fits into that. She is mostly carnivore. It's just that she will, when she goes out, for example, she will eat anything she wants off the menu, and she would occasionally have a cauliflower cheese to go alongside her meat at home. But she's basically hyper-carnivore on account of the fact that she is also a cancer sufferer and came to carnivore because she learned about Otto Warburg and then learned that cancer can only feed off glucose and glutamine, and also is now a follower of Professor Thomas Seyfried. She is on a couple of cancer groups, and she was telling me this morning about, just now actually, that she found one this morning where there was some poor cancer lady saying, oh, she eats really well because she grows her own fruit, her own veg, and makes her own bread. And Lainey had to go on and say, actually, that's probably not as good as you think it is. She is expecting some pushback, but we'll see what happens. But no, Lainey is definitely hyper-carnivore as well, which helps very much.
Thank you for the compliment, Mrs. Goodenough.
Great name. And my final comment that I want to highlight is because Rick is with us every week on Carnivore Sunday School in the chat, making everyone laugh. And Coach Juliet Edens has said, I just want to meet Rick at Hack Your Health and my life will be complete.
Oh, George is doing a Rick.
I keep this in honor of Rick on my desk, and whenever Rick is in the crowd, I always make sure that that the duck puts in an appearance, because I know
we're going to call it doing the Rick, holding something up, holding something crazy up. I should bring something crazy for every.
Well, go and get a duck, John, because the more the merrier, really, when you think about it. Unless you get an iguana, I like iguanas as well. Yeah.
I could probably go capture a live one. They're
out
now. We're coming to the top of the hour here, where we like to go around and share. We absolutely want to hear, Pumi, where we can find you and learn more about you, so that people can tune in and hear your story. We'll start with you, Pumi.
So I have my YouTube channel, as mentioned, and you'll find it under Carnivore QT Pumi. And I have an Instagram and TikTok account. All you have to do is search Carnivore QT8 and I will come up. And I have an email address if you want to reach out for any reason. And obviously that email address will also be my future coaching email address once I am a certified Kills Health Carnivore coach. So look out for that too.
All right. Thank you. And Stephanie, when this is over, I want to get that information so we can put that in the notes.
We've got Pumi's links, so I'll send those.
Okay, good. Okay. You want to go, Steph?
Yeah, so I'm Stephanie Taylor from Happy Sexy Health. With my sister, we do 21-day primal body resets, and we help people who've never heard about carnivore to reverse their type 2 diabetes and improve their health in 21 days. You can find stories about that and also teachings about carnivore on Happy Sexy Health on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and in all the places. Over to you, George.
Okay, so we've already spoken about my little channel, Goodenough for You tonight. I noticed that Coach Juliet is in the crowd tonight, in the audience tonight. And the last time we spoke about where do you find George, she simply put the word everywhere. I try and cater for as many interviews as I possibly can. So I do jump on other people's channels quite a lot, especially since we've done the coaching course, because everybody who started the channel there, we're all interviewing each other. So most of us can be found everywhere anyway. The other thing I do want to flag up is my Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook. I am a frustrated journalist, and I'm practicing magazine type articles on Facebook. So I'm just under George Goodenough. There's very few of us out there. My photograph is of me showing off with a microphone and wearing a flat cap, so you can't really miss me. Please do come and find me. But make sure you refer to the carnivore side of things in your profile, because otherwise I will probably reject it, because I've had some very strange approaches on Facebook since I've been on there. But we won't go into those anyway. But please do mention carnivore, and I will accept you on Facebook, not on Twitter, not on X, not on Instagram, not on TikTok, not on any of the others, but YouTube and Facebook. Over to you, John.
Thank you, George. I am Carnivore Teacher Alpha on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Reddit. I just decided to open up accounts and just ditto copy all the places. So I notice I have different people following me on different platforms. So a lot of people are real Instagram followers only. So I have, a good following just from there, which is why I expanded it. So you can also go on Amazon and see the book that we talked about called Carnivore Teacher, and my new one that's coming out, like it should be out in a few days in paperback, called Processed to Death. And it's a must read on all the things we talked about here, all the ultra processed food that's bad for us, and how the system lied to us, and how we have believed a lot of these myths that have made us unhealthy, the ignorance that's made us unhealthy all these years. So check those out when they come out on Carnivore Teacher Alpha. And we'll be back next Sunday with another wonderful guest. Pumi's been fantastic. Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us and sharing your story. And that's it. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. And we'll catch you next week. Signing off.
Thank you.